As many of us can see in today's world, people are consuming more and more. Why they do this, you may ask? Well, this is a result of consumerism, which has dominated the media which they have consumed. First, let's get an understanding of what media is. Media refers to all electronic, digital, print, or artistic visuals used to transmit messages. In our case, we will be discussing consumerism in the media. Consumerism is defined as the action of people who spend a lot of money on goods and services. Marketing specialists have used the media to increase consumerism in societies. We have declared war on the minds of people and have bombarded our lives, consciousness, and our minds with ads that make us want to buy, ads that make us feel inadequate, and ads which make us feel depressed when you can't afford to buy. They persuade us to purchase things we don't need, things we never heard of, and even things we never even wanted. They call their attacks marketing campaigns, but campaign is actually a military word. According to Google's online definition of campaign, it mentions a series of military operations intended to achieve a goal. This shows you that they understand that it's a war, and it's a war for the control of our minds. How they make us do this, you may ask? Well, they do this by the media. These marketers make so many ads that it's estimated that an average young person sees more than 3,000 ads per day on magazines, billboards, internet, and television. As a result of all these ads, it is estimated that a teenager spends $155 billion a year, and younger than 12 years of age spend $25 billion. It even gets to such an extreme that Americans spend half the amount of money on a single Black Friday weekend than they spend on the church in a whole year. The media has a lot of blame for this, but they have also had many obstacles in delivering their messages. For instance, banner blindness. Banner blindness refers to the fact that people learn to ignore banners and ads. Marketing specialists have come up with a work around this problem of banner blindness, and it's called native ads. Native advertisement is making the show into an advertisement without the audience realizing. For instance, in a soccer game, everything's an ad. Not only are the players an ad, but also the soccer ball. Companies such as Nike and Adidas brand their names on their soccer balls. This essentially is an ad because they are branding their balls. In this way, not only are consumers being fed with commercial ads, which show between the programs, but the program itself has become a commercial without them realizing it. When the program ends, the commercial doesn't. These players are bought by corporations and make more money advertising outside the game than their salaries they get for playing the game. For example, Ronaldo, who we all know, would be going on a strict healthy diet as an athlete, poses for a KFC ad encouraging others to buy this unhealthy food, which he himself does not eat. Native ads are also seen in newspapers and other places. They're called advertorials by marketing specialists. An advertorial is an ad which appears as an editorial news story. The reader only finds out that it's an ad after reading through it all and receiving this hypnotic message. Joe Vitale is one of those specialists who create these advertorials. He authored the book Hypnotic Writing, the title of which says it all. But if anyone left unconvinced of how marketing specialists have declared war on your minds by using media, one just needs to look at the title of just one of his chapters entitled How to Control the Command Center in Your Prospect's Mind. Other strategies marketing specialists use with their consumer bombardment in the media is the pillars of influence, as detailed by Dr. Robert Cialdini in his book Influence, Science, and Practice. These pillars of influence cause consumers to buy even when they don't know why. The pillars of influence include reciprocity, commitment and consistency, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. The idea behind authority is that people obey commands, suggestions, and ideas when given by authority. For example, you wouldn't cut off your arm because a friend told you to, but if a doctor suggested it to you, you might consider it. Why? Because you perceive him as an authority. Obeying authority isn't bad. It helps us make decisions in life, but some things can be misplaced and or even manipulated to make us do stuff we normally would not do. The power of authority in influencing people has been demonstrated in the Milgram studies. In 1974, Professor Milgram was able to get volunteers to provide electric shocks to a subject of the study. Volunteers would listen to the lab coat researcher who would tell them to give very powerful, life-threatening electric shocks to an innocent person. The volunteers obeyed orders only because they believed the lab coat researcher was an authority. Other examples of authority played wrong is when a doctor wrote a prescription for a patient with an ear infection to be administered by the nurse. Instead of writing right ear for the eardrop, the doctor wrote R space ear. The nurse read it as rear, and without questioning the doctor's order, she gave the patient ear infection drops into the patient's anus or rear end. After realizing how powerful authority can be, marketing specialists started to use this technique to produce sales. In one example, the actor Robert Young, who played a doctor on TV show Marcus Welby, MD, was hired to do commercials selling decaffeinated coffee for the company Sanka Coffee. In the commercial, the TV actor, who only played a doctor on television, is warning people against the health dangers of caffeine and recommending the caffeine-free Sanka brand. The commercial was so successful in selling the Sanka coffee, it was used for several years in many different versions. As we can see, not only is the media full of consumer ads which we are being bombarded with daily, but they are also using strategies which are actually working. This causes consumer to consume until they become consumed by a material lifestyle which leads their thoughts, actions, and purpose. So be aware of what is going on and happening to both you and your children. The soccer game they are watching and the news program you are listening to is not just about news. The bottom line is to sell you more things and make you want things you never even thought of. The media would not exist if it weren't for the sponsors, and they are paying a large amount of money to see a return.